You guys want to see the new Gyrojet? Look at this reload, and also look at this. That's how fast it shoots now. This is the weirdest thing I have ever played with. What the heck? How is this a fair gun? So hello gamers, and welcome back to another video. So today the test place got a massive update. A lot of people have been wanting me to cover this, and I'm finally covering it. I'll have to split this into two parts because there is so much stuff in this update. So stay tuned for part 2 and subscribe if you're new. But yeah, let's start it off with everybody's favorite new gun, which is the only fully new gun, but there are a ton of massive changes, such as a ramp mod on the hammer and a complete change to the hammer. But yeah, it's the M16A1. Now by default, this is a pretty decent gun. It doesn't have great multis, but the ranges, the velocity are pretty good, and the recoil is kind of it's a little bit all over the place. This has a 20 round magazine, and as you can see, it has a pretty interesting sound effect and a very fast reload time. The recoil is a bit all over the place. I might actually switch over to stubby, but yeah, it's fast. It has a fast reload. It's really not that great for range, but it is very nice for close range, and the handling and the reload and everything are really nice. It's a really fun close range gun. I really like it. It's not going to be like exceptionally good. At least this version of it is going to be decent, but not that great. Kind of just like a 20 tact version of something like a C8A2. I might make a full video on this gun when it comes out, but not everything is final for it. It also has M855, which will give you worse recoil and a lower velocity, but higher pen, and an extremely powerful 3-hit kill range. Also, you get 30 rounds again. And the reload is still really fast. If you want a really nice close range gun, this is pretty good. I think it slows your RPM, but it gives you a 3-shot to the body and a 2-shot to the head, and a really good 3-hit kill range. Honestly, maybe a bit too far. Originally, it was a 55 to 60 stud. Now it's more like an 80 stud 3-hit kill range and a 70 stud 2-hit kill head range, which feels like a lot. Yeah, it's got 800 RPM, but it's kind of just a slightly worse at range M16A3 762. Kind of similar to that, except it has a 30 round mag and a faster reload, so it's actually really good. The gun overall is super fun, and I really like it. There's actually another new gun, quote unquote, that is burst grouping on the M16A3, which makes it the M16A2. This has a weird effect on your damage, where it will actually lower your damage, but give you a torso multiplier, which will actually allow you to 3-hit kill to the torso. And it has some weird sight mounts. It's like a very interesting gun, but yeah. As you can see, it is a burst version of the M16A3. It's kind of just like an M16A4, but like, yeah, it's not really that much better or worse. Honestly, in my opinion, it's a bit worse. It doesn't have as great damage. I think it can 2-hit kill head. Actually, no, maybe it can't, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's actually got a good burst delay, so if you want to have... Oh, yeah, you can actually get to shoot pretty quick. Overall, cool change. I don't think it's going to be that great. It does have a 1.5 headshot multi. 45, so it does 45 to the head, which isn't the best. It can't 2-shot headshot. So the M16A3 has an overall different model as well, which allows you to not have that front post in the way. I don't really know if this is amazing because now you have the carry handle in the way. The AUG H-Bar had some pretty crazy changes as well. It has a 22 long rifle conversion, which will allow you to 2-shot to the head but do awful body damage, and it's really fun. It has a torso multi of 1.2, which is really good, but doesn't affect the damage that much. It will allow it to 4-hit kill to the torso, which is fine. It drops down to 12 damage at range though, and this is really going to be, if you want to hit headshots and you want to be extremely accurate, like beyond belief, I really recommend this. It's not going to be the best gun in the entire game, but I think it's really fun for what it does. The biggest problem about it by far is the fact that it's on the AUG H-Bar, which is already extremely accurate. And you got to keep in mind, even with a 2.5x headshot multi that this has, which is absolutely insane, it's so much higher than basically every other gun in the game, including some semi-auto and sniper rifle type guns. Here's the thing, it still does 30 damage headshot at range, but as you can see, really good accuracy. Probably the new most accurate gun in the game, except if you count DBV30 on 6, but like for overall recoil, yeah, it's just non-existent. It just doesn't have recoil. You could run a muzzle booster. I don't think it would matter. You could run a skeleton grip. I don't think it would matter, which makes it a really cool, versatile gun that you can basically run any attachment combo you really want to. But then we have the closed bolt conversion on the AUG H-Bar, which will allow you to add a +1, which is something that I've always kind of hated about the AUG H-Bar and all open bolted guns, is that you can't have a +1. It doesn't matter too much. The magazine is already massive, but I really like that. It also will make your accuracy better, quote unquote, because it will lower your rate of fire. They have changed the AUG H-Bar to be a little bit less accurate, but I'm gonna be real, the nerf that they did this update is not really that much. All they really did was change the recovery speed, which means that it will go higher but stay higher up. This will make it kind of bounce a little bit more, which it will still be insanely accurate, but it doesn't fire as fast by quite a bit. It's like 75 less RPM. So I'm gonna be real, this closed bolted conversion is cool, but I'm not a huge fan of it, and I don't think I'll be using it personally. The AUG H-Bar is still extremely accurate, so I don't really recommend it too much, but it's cool. Now, after maybe I made my video about shotgun conversions and talked about how 4 gauge makes no sense because it shouldn't do less damage, they finally made 4 gauge do what it should, which is basically, if you guys didn't know, 4 gauge is an extremely massive ammo type. They literally use 4 gauge to hunt elephants, or at least they did. I don't think it's really legal to do that anymore, but yeah, 4 gauge will now increase your damage from like 37 to 45 a pellet and give you like double the pen. 45 times 1.15. It can kill with 2 pellets to the head in close range and still has 19 damage at range, which is really good. It only has 7 pellets instead of 8, but this is a really fun, very powerful ammo type. I don't know how great the spread is. It's fine. It doesn't like make the spread super more accurate. It probably makes it worse, and it also makes your gun fire slower, but I really like this. It sounds so cool. I don't think it's even going to be super broken. It might be, but we'll have to see. The biggest thing about it is that the RPM now is like 45, which is worse than like sniper rifles and stuff. The KS-23M default RPM is like 65, which is actually on par with faster sniper rifles. Also, can we talk about in the test place how if you load your shotgun, it will actually load the +1 for you. You don't have to press R again, which is really cool. Speaking of shotguns, and I'll talk about this really quickly, it's not a super great ammo type, but I kind of like it. It is the mini shell and the mini slug ammo type. Also, they buff slugs. It has better velocity now, which is cool. But mini shells are essentially, you get about 50% more capacity, which is really nice. You go from 6 to 9, which you could just use extended tube on the Remington, but you know, it's fine. It will also increase your RPM by like 50%, and you'll get a faster reload and way lower recoil. The problem with mini shells is that they do like no damage. You have to hit every single pellet to get a kill on a lot of the shotguns. And some of the shotguns, if you hit every single pellet, it still won't kill in a single shot. So mini shells is more of a meme ammo type, but on the KSG, if you have mini shells and you also have the KSG-25, you get 40 rounds, which is really funny. This one can kill in a single shot to 45 studs if every pellet lands, and that's not really that great, but it does have 180 RPM, which is pretty nice. But then we have mini slugs. Now, mini slugs are not that great. They basically can't one-shot at all, but you can fire them pretty quickly. Holy, that's fast. And of course, you get a much larger capacity, but they can barely even one-shot headshot in close range, if even they can, because on some of the shotguns, they might not even do that at all, as you can see. So is this a great ammo type? It's not really that great, but it's funny because you can fire it so fast and it's a bunch of slugs. The DT11 has become a completely new gun. A lot of its attachments have been reworked. The main thing here is basically the default gun now does far less damage. It does 19, but it has 12 pellets, and it has overall better spread. So as you can see, tons of pellets and really good spread, but bad damage. This basically means that you have to be more accurate with the gun by default, which is kind of what full choke did, and full choke will make you have even worse spread. So I don't really recommend full choke anymore, but this will make the gun a very great gun if you are being extremely accurate. You gotta hit a lot of your pellets to get a kill, kind of like the USAS, except it has better spread, so it's actually possible. Combat barrel and the sawed-off barrel will give you much better damage. In this case, it will actually double your damage. However, worse spread and stuff like that, like way worse spread. I think sawed-off barrel kinda has fallen off with this. It does really good per pellet damage, and it makes it good for one specific purpose, which is basically if you suck at the game and you want to hit a very close range one tap, that's great, but it falls off super hard. It will make the sawed-off a very close range powerhouse. We're getting lots of good feeds and stuff, but it will fall off so incredibly hard, even if it does better damage at range. The integral suppressor now will make your recoil better, which is cool, but now it will increase your spread by 80%. And why would you use the suppressor? It doesn't give you better damage. It just makes your... What? Why does it give you 80% worse spread? What the heck? Why would you use this now? The Olympian stock will have a 0.1 second firing delay. So basically you shoot and then it will fire 0.1 seconds later. I don't get these attachments. They make no sense, Stylist. It makes your walk speed faster, but you have a delay when firing. I don't know if that's worth it for me at all. The sporting stock will now give you like better recoil and a bunch of better stats and stuff like that for recoil. However, who cares? It's a shotgun that has 2 barrels. You don't really need to fire it that fast. I'm gonna be real. It's basically like a heavy stock, but on your average DT11. But then we have some crazy new attachments that are specifically on the DT11. Buckshot will give you 28 damage, but only 6 pellets. And I guess it's nice if you want to have less pellets, but better damage. The spread is not good. I'm gonna be real. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not great. I would honestly just recommend use the default ammo. The 12 pellets is plenty of pellets. Then you have the 3.5 shell, which will have 8 pellets, but not that great damage, but very fast velocity. That's kind of cool. Is the spread good on this? Ooh, it's got recoil. The spread kind of falls off. I like the recoil, though. It kind of feels nice. This is with remove stock, but, like, that's actually kind of cool. I would honestly recommend this simply because of how fun that recoil is. But then you have the bolo round, which will quintuple your minimum damage and is essentially like a Gyrojet conversion on the gun. It can actually 2-pellet kill at long range and has a ton of penetration depth. However, it's only got 2 shells, 2 pellets, and also 2 shells because it's a double barrel. And in close range, it does kind of awful damage. I don't really recommend this. It's going to be kind of a meme ammo time. I think the spread is pretty good, but here's the problem with it. It doesn't have the greatest velocity, but yeah, the spread is actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like duplex. Is it gonna be the greatest in the game? Nah, but I think it will be pretty fun for longer ranges and just kind of trolling. Honestly, if you hit headshots, it's not bad. If you want a specifically long range DT11, the drop is gonna be bad, but the spread is so freaking low. Okay, you kind of can't use it in close range, though. It's pretty cool. So the M14 has a kind of DMR conversion now, which I don't understand why it does, but yeah, it does, which is semi-auto trigger. You get lower RPM, but you can one-shot headshot. That's not actually that bad, I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect this. Hold on. Okay, recoil is weird, but it's not actually too bad. It's a weird CQC freaking battle rifle DMR. Very similar to something like the SA-58, that one Uzi 41 Action Express conversion. It just feels like those because it's got the one-shot headshot and two-shot body and stuff. But if you want another one of those, but it does have like a little bit extra RPM, I guess it's there. The arm pistol got a massive overhaul. It has really high close range damage, but it has worse min damage, but it can two-shot headshot. And they changed the recoil a bit. I don't think the recoil is that great. If you want to use the arm pistol, maybe now's the time. The damage is really good on it now. Not for long range anymore. It used to have way better long range damage, but the close range damage is pretty good. The Remington 700 has this weird new conversion called 32 ACP. You'll get awful body damage, but a really fast reload. Like, holy, that is fast. And 90 RPM. Basically, it's like a Steyr Scout, kind of on a budget because it's such a low rank gun. But if you want a Steyr Scout, it's basically that. It does bad body damage. Similar to the Scout, like it's better in some cases and worse in other cases. The velocity is the biggest problem, but it's got 90 RPM, which is really fast. So I'm not gonna lie, I like the conversion. I think it's gonna be really good for specific people who don't have the Steyr Scout and want a budget version, but I don't think it's gonna be anything like super special or new. The M3 is now called the Auto Mag 3. It has 2 new conversions, 45 Win Mag and 50 Action Express. 45 Win Mag is kind of, I don't know how to... It's not good. It's not a very good conversion. It can 3-shot to the body at any range and like 2-shot torso in close range, but it can't 1-shot headshot and has 400 RPM and awful muzzle flash for no reason. Let's see this. That is not bad. Use the flash hider. That's really cool. The RPM on it is really good, which is the L5, which has honestly kind of similar recoil, maybe a bit more. It can 1-shot headshot, 2-shot anywhere in the body. Doesn't do as great at range, but like you may as well go for headshots on the L5 or the default AM3, but I like the conversion. I don't think it's that bad. I'm just not going to say it's the best thing of all time. Why am I going for headshots? It also has 50 Action Express, which basically has like a 30 stud torso kill range, 300 RPM, and a decent headshot kill range, but not as far as the default gun. You want essentially like a Grizzly, I guess. It's there. I don't know why they're adding so many new torso killing guns. Please stop adding torso killing guns that are pistols. They're just going to be broken, but also kind of irrelevant compared to like the XIX and the Executioner. We don't need more of them. They're broken. In my opinion, I feel like the XIX is just a little bit too good as somebody who has 2,000 kills on it. The K14 is now a really weird and different gun, and a lot of people aren't going to be liking this. It does have a faster rate of fire by quite a bit, but a worse torso kill range. It's still there, and it has 308 Winchester, which is essentially a slower firing, but 5-round torso killing farther gun. It does fire really quickly. Like, it's not bad at all for RPM. The torso kill range is just not as far. I'm gonna be real, I don't really like this one as much as the old version with like a 80 stud torso kill or 90 stud. This is gonna be more like a 45 stud torso kill. So it's gonna be kind of like a Mosin with a torso kill, and it has 10 bullets. It's gonna be like a really nice competitor to something like the AWS, but I'm not gonna be really using it. 308, it has a faster reload, which is pretty decent. 5-round magazine, still got 60 RPM, which is really good. However, it only has a 64 stud torso kill range, which isn't as great. It can go up to like 75 if you're using the light barrel, but then you have really bad velocity and stuff. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this gun now. Ever since they changed the irons and nerfed the gun a little bit, I'm not really a fan of it as much anymore. I'm not going to say it's bad. Like, it's still a good gun, and the version of this right now is still pretty good. I'm just not going to say it's like the best gun of all time. You know what I'm saying? The FT300 got some pretty nice changes to it overall. It's a bit of an overall buff. 22 actually does good damage now. Still is not compatible with the marksman kit, but overall, basically what happens now is that the marksman kit actually will make your ranges worse, which is really cool. And now everything but 22 can torso kill, which is really nice. And basically what this means is if you want a really good torso kill range, like up to like 130 studs, then you can run default ammo. And if you want 10 bullets and a worse torso killing range, then you can use the marksman kit. I think it's an overall nice upside and downside. I really like the gun with only one bullet, and now there's actually a reason to use the one bullet conversion because you're gonna have a really nice torso kill range. But if you want, you can still use the 10 rounds, and that's really cool. I'm still not a huge fan of the gun, but at least there's a reason to use non-marksman kit. 7.5 Swiss actually has the best torso kill range of any of them, with a 135 if you're not using the marksman kit and a 94 if you're using it, which is really good. I kind of like that. They changed wood furniture and Olympic foregrip, but they're still really not going to be that crazy or anything. But the biggest thing that they actually changed, which I really like, is the integral suppressor, which will now increase your torso multiplier. This will essentially increase your torso killing range, which is really, really cool. I really like that. It does change your velocity, but it's finally a suppressor on a sniper rifle that does something other than either literally nothing and makes it suppressed, or just worse and makes it suppressed. I think this might be kind of meta because you get a better torso kill range and it's very quiet. You do have worse velocity, but I really like it. It's a good change to an attachment that really nobody cared about before. Okay. Also, they changed the reload sounds and stuff like that, and they sound really nice. I really like them. The SAS is actually a lot better as well. It has 3 new conversions, 2-3, which is overall kind of meh. It can 2-shot torso, I guess. It fires faster, so you could use that. Then you have 22, which does pretty awful body damage, but has a very fast reload time. And I was using this and having a ton of fun. Then you have 358, which has a torso multiplier, but now can actually one-shot headshot all ranges. 22 is extremely fun on this gun. I really like the iron sights for some reason. They zoom in pretty well, and they have a nice crosshair. And I hit a triple headshot with it when I was playing with it the other day, and I thought it was really funny how effective this gun was actually being, because for some reason I only hit headshots on this gun. I don't know why. Overall, I'm a big fan of this new version of the SAS. So yeah, good job, Stylus. Really funny gun. Very quick reload. Not as great as the GB22, but it's still pretty cool. The Gyrojet carbine got some pretty overall weird changes. Same with the Gyrojet secondary version. It now fires extremely fast, but it cannot torso kill as far, but it can torso kill only at longer ranges though, but it fires really fast. Also, it got a really interesting change to the sound effect, and I really like it. It doesn't sound like real. It doesn't sound like a real gun would. But hey, I've never actually heard a Gyrojet, so maybe this is what it sounds like. It's really good for headshotting now. However, it doesn't do as great overall, like, damage to the body. But I think the RPM difference is really, I don't know, I'm a big fan of it now. 12mm rockets will now increase your fire rate. It will still reduce your damage, but that's pretty cool that you get better velocity and better RPM. However, this is not going to be a one-shot torso and not a one-shot headshot in close range, but it has 500 RPM, which is pretty nice. So if you want a headshot killing only gun, all ranges, at 500 RPM, it's pretty good. Then we have automatic conversion, which will give you 500 RPM, and also that's really fast. However, the reload time kind of sucks. You get a faster reload time, which is nice, but like you still have 500 RPM and dump all your rounds like in 1 second. And it doesn't do the most damage, but because it fires so fast now, it actually has somewhat of a use. Before, it only increased your RPM by like 20. Also, on the pistol, there's a really nice change, which is basically the short barrel now increases your min damage, which is really nice. You won't be able to torso kill at long range, which is weird, but you'll have better limb damage, which is nice. And now there is a massive downside to using long barrel because you actually have a better min damage range, which is actually worse, as well as the fact that you have no torso multiplier. So I don't know why you would really use this. I think default is now the best because it's still has that torso kill range, but that's just my opinion. This also does have automatic, and it does have 12mm rockets, which I just realized you could put those together. Whoa. You guys want to see the new Gyrojet? Look at this reload, and also look at this. That's how fast it shoots now. This is the weirdest thing I have ever played with. What the heck? How is this a fair gun? I just realized I'm only about halfway through the list and I've been recording for 40 minutes. So I think I'm going to end the video here and maybe start recording part 2 because I want to be able to edit this in like a day. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to subscribe for part 2 and let's go for 1,000 likes. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.